Yo, what's up? Welcome to the Core of Life. In this video, this is the first part of a tutorial video on how to make a search engine. So far, you can see here, you're gonna add suggestions. This is what you searched. This is the suggestions. And all of this is going to apply in this, and these are going to be vital in the next part because that's when we're going to use these. Well, these are going to be used this part for this one, like in this one to this one. But one thing that's useful here is that now that we have these links, it's gonna be useful for part 2 when you're actually trying to get a better version, so you can like add to these lists. Anyways, let's get started. So in the VS Code, you click the new file button, and then you name the file index.html. The index part is important because in cases like GitHub, this is a web page that you want to also in the Visual Studio. In the second part, it's going to be very important for us to name it index.html. So when you go live, it wants to open this one unless you're opening the other HTML page. Pretty nice, right? And you're done naming that. Now make a new file, name it style.css. The style.css is not the name of this file is not too important, but we don't want to lose track. So then you also name main.js. You don't want to lose track of the names of these files, which is why I use the OGs. Little index for HTML, I don't know. Main.js, well, that's because main is because it makes it interactive. Now you want to type HTML first, a less than symbol, then a greater than symbol. Basically, okay, so for those who have actually done the HTML, who I'm pretty sure most of you should have, it's opening and closing. Then you add a tag that says head inside of the less than greater than symbols. Take instead of that, title. Okay, first I'm going to show you what it is without the title. Okay, pay attention to this. Look at what the tab text shows. Now, once I add the title, I'm gonna name it Searchy. And look, its name is Searchy now. Now we want to add tags that says body, because this is basically where all the good stuff goes. But before that, let's add up here. Let's add link. rel for rel equals style sheet. href. src is used for images. Note that. Or it's also going to be then you use style.css. There's not going to be the same tag with the slash stuff, and also I recommend you use VS Code. Now, right beneath the body tag, you want to use script src equals main.js. Because in this case, when you're using src, you're getting a direct file. This is the inside of of an object. This is not an object like yar, which we're going to use. Also is hr, which is basically like a line. You'll see it when I run this. You'll see that line. You see this line. You see this tiny blue highlight? That's the BR, and then this line is the HR, page break. But these are considered not objects, they don't use a closing, just like the image. But if you use href, you can't get an image from that, because href is more hidden, I'd say. Because script, you can add more script here, but you can't add more script here unless you add style. If you add style, you can add src, go style.css. Let's just do this one. Now let's add, oh yeah, but for first we're going to do h1 id equals title, and we don't really need to label the title in this one, but in the search page, which we'll do in the next part, we will have to get the title and the identification. This is important so we can change the title, because when you change this is what the title of the tab shows. If you change this, you're changing what the tab shows. So if you use JS's changing inner HTML document.getElement by ID, we're also going to use that. In this part, you're going to change the title of the tab, and you can do this like literally live. It will immediately change. Now just do some quick types. Oh yeah, also remember to add center. Don't worry, this should be red. The center text should be red, but not anything else. Like that shouldn't be red. It should only be the text that says center. Now let me just add the button and the search bar. Also, fun fact, you want to make the input type text, even though you can still enter numbers. This is because if you use a number, you can't enter text, and also when you type numbers, the numbers won't be a string. Because when you type like this, the numbers are a string, which is text. You can't add +1, but you can do 1 + 1 like this. The difference is that one is a string and one is a number, and you can't do that. ID equals search. The reason why I want to set ID is so it's like because these are the classes often used for the style. Like we're going to use to make the when you try to make something more rounded, something that many objects can need, then you should use a class. When you're trying to get something very specific out of a style, or you're using it for JS, you should use ID. Because ID should pretty much only be used for the object in that object is only. Well, for class, it's meant to be used for many ones. There's no point using a class for just one. The reason why I'm doing search -btn is because if I replace this with a space, it will mean it has an ID of both search and btn. Something that you will not want. And then we want to do search right here, so it says the text. We can also make the text whatever you want, but I think it should be searched. And now let's add a class rounded to both the input and the button. And now you want to use in style.css, not in your CSS file, style.css, you want to use hashtag or number symbol. Yeah, rounded. Okay. Dot. If you use it's dot rounded. Yeah, because hashtag rounded means you only round something with the ID of rounded, which is only supposed to use once. But if you use dot, which is what we're using right now, it's for a class. And for this, we're just going to use border, radius, and just bash it until the 9 pixels. This means that no matter how big it should always be curved to the maximum, no matter what. No matter the size. Now let's add some IDs. First ID title, which is hashtag. Now try to memorize all of these stuff for future parts, and all of the figures will be in the description. Because I wouldn't spend. And then I'm also gonna need, and then there's also gonna be object, and I'm also gonna use object. Basically using the class name. I'm not gonna confuse you. So for the title, all you want is the font size to be 82 pixels. Now we're gonna add the ID for search. Let's just leave it like this for now. Though it does say if you click the bottom left corner of the screen, do not use empty restless, which is basically the hole here, which is where you put the style in. And then now we have hashtag search. Okay, ID search button, and now we do it again. Now, watch as I just add them. Well, now I've added this. So for the search input, you want to add margin top 6.5%. This basically means that it's slightly lower, but since the title is on top, you need to decrease it. It was originally going to be 14%, but this is what happens. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. You need to add BR. Why does this never work as you want? 4 times. But I mean, whenever I want it to go horizontally, it goes vertically. But when I want it to go vertically, it goes horizontally. Main.js is not what we're touching yet. Now that's what happens when I use 14. That's too low. Because I want it to be in the center. Because that's the point. So what you do, well, I turned it down to 6.5% because of that. You want the width to be 60% and the height to be 50 pixels. The reason why you want to keep the height the same is because it's so that you can keep the font size consistent. Okay, you have the font size of 40 pixels, which is almost as tall as the height of the inputs, which is important so it's not going out of it, but also so it fills the entire space. Same with the button. Width is they're at 25%, and the height is the same, and so is the font size. Also for the search input, it's very important that you add text align center. If I delete this just temporarily, this is what happens again. Okay, so it's to the left, which is what I don't want. And that just reminds me of something. Now if I do it again, works. And I have no idea why I always use the key E. Oh yeah, and also for the input, add a placeholder of type here to search. Well, it can't be, it doesn't mean the exact same, but it has to be simple enough that somebody can tell, okay, that somebody can do, okay, that makes some sense. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to type here, and it's going to tell me what, and then like the search button to do stuff. Anyways, now we're gonna touch something. No, it's not grass this time. It's the only language you haven't touched yet. JavaScript, or just JavaScript. Also, just leaving that thing and turn the bottom doesn't do anything by just like keeping it. Also, you want to add. Also, you can just copy and paste log function and replace this with and then error. I think also the long WR. This is gonna come very handy when you want to make when this file gets really complex. It's gonna save you tons of time. Though it won't tell you where it is, which is why it won't tell you where the error warning or print goes, which is why you need the word telling you the line and the file. The file will also come in handy when you have multiple JS files running on one website, which is going to be very useful, like especially even for this one when you want to add extensions, because the main.js is the main part. Console.log. So you want the console.log. First you want to do text, then you want to do this, then you want to do the colon, then you want to use the plus sign. If you have a quotation mark there, or there's any strings here, it's going to work. Also, I suggest you add like an indent here, because by adding an indent here, you're going to separate the actual what the script is from the input. Now it's time for us to move on. First, you want to find these three variables. You can always pause the video if you need to catch up. Var find equals empty quotation marks. You could also use null, but I don't want it. But find is always going to be a string. And I don't want to have to redefine the entire thing, which is why I wanted to use find as a quick. Also, input equals document, which is basically the web page. Get element by get element by ID search, which is the input, and then document.get element by ID search dash button. Oh yeah. Also, in HTML, you want to in the button, you want to do an on-click function. And name that search. But right here in the on-click thing, this is JavaScript. Like this section here, it's JavaScript. Minus that quotation mark, the part that I'm highlighting. And the reason why you're dealing with real JavaScript here, so you don't always have to use the functions. Now we're just gonna type function. This defines it. And if you want to play one, then you don't type it like you don't need these the curly brackets are for the definition, but you don't do this. You don't do that to run the file. You remove the function text and you have it. Wow! Now first find equals. You want to use 1 equal to define the variable, and 2 equals to check if something is equal to something. Oh yeah. Input dot value, because okay. This is getting okay. What's this for? No need for that. Just ignore these, because value is what's typed into the input bar. Now after that, local storage. Just leave like 3 spaces here. Just leave like a space here because they're gonna do something out of it. Local storage dot set item. You want to add brackets, and then first you want to do search. Important for part 2. You gotta make this your own name, but just be sure you know it for the next part. And then you want to type find, because that's what you searched up. And now you want to, just to be sure it's working, you want to okay, wait. We have to use, we have line 19, comma, well, that's for me. main.js, comma, local storage dot get item. That's why DVDs. And then you search. You don't want to type the find text. And the reason why I want to use this, then you just want to log it in. Go live. Not go live and see. Let's inspect. Let's right click and click the inspect one. Now if I just type something, so it works. How about I type nothing? Now what we're gonna do next. Have you ever, you know what suggestion is, right? We have YouTube, and what happens when I click the live? I get redirected to my channel. Look at this highlighted also. You should. So that's what we're gonna add now. So now we're gonna do var sug because of the variable equals. Okay, now I want to do function suggest. Now I want to type find in here, and this is basically oh yeah, I already forgot why I used org. It doesn't really matter, but you have to use that. You have to use the word I use instead in place of org if you don't use org. Now let's get some work done. This may seem like a lot. Okay, first you want to return answer. But you also want to define answer. So you want to return answer at the very end. So when you return the variable, now sug, the variable sug, is equal to the variable answer. But the reason I don't need to know answer everyone else is because another thing is that, oh yeah, we're also using local storage.set items to add these lists. These lists will be very important next part, though you can add whatever you want to them too, because these are basically predefined links. When you type these in, if you type any of these in, it's going to give you one of these, depending on it. Fun fact: for the Y, because it's the first one in the list or an index of 0, if you want this tab to be YouTube, the text must be YouTube. This is very important. Like this one, the third one, S goes to scratch. But if I made the second one go to Google, third one go to Google, it's gonna get messed up. It's gonna see if you type an S, Google's gonna be a suggestion. I'd be surprised if it made any sense. Now, make sure you've already got that copied down. Remember, you can always pause it if you need to copy these down, and I'm going too fast because I will always go too fast. I'll never think of you because I'm gonna be a university teacher. Oh wait, I'm younger than Gen Z. Also, another thing that this means that because if you didn't have the suggestions, you'd literally have to type the entire link. But this, which is another reason why we want to add, because we're gonna actually type in the entire link. The next part, I'm gonna say tomorrow. That's when I'm gonna spend all the time editing this. Also, maybe a bit today. I hope. Also, you have to log. Okay, that was one thing I forgot to add. I forgot to set the line that's on main.js. And I want to do solving quotes with bracket is optional. Then plus, look, the reason I want to label these is so you know what you're talking about. Just like here, you're also logging. Oh wait, you're not. Wait, where is it? Oh yeah, here you're logging. You're logging the search, but you also want to log sug here. So log line 20 main.js sug suggest. Oh wait, org for original plus sug. The org here is for original. Also for I equals 0, semicolon, I is less than dict.length, I plus plus. And the reason why I actually has to be defined as 0 is because the first item in the list is 0. And then if the index I of dict is the same as what you typed in, or the original, then you want to set the answer to solve, to item I of the solve list, which is this, which is another reason why that should be the same. Though you will have to, well, do a lot of this, which is another reason why we're gonna do this automatically. Because you wouldn't want to do this for every single possible type out that could lead to the website. So the solution is to get Yes, you can also ban websites here. You better have all that written down. And I will suggest and suck. Now, let's see what this does. First, you want to inspect. Let's inspect the website. Go to the console. Okay, oh wait, there is no suggested, because it's still null. This means that, and this is actually a good thing, because, okay, now we have YouTube. We can even see the two lists. This is, and look, we're already out where we were at the beginning. But since if I were to go, yo, it's no longer existent. You can fix that, but no need. Google, and it even works Google D. It even works with multiple letters. Oh. What? This video is almost over. And that's all I actually had, right? You can also make the capital, you can also make the letters capital if you'd like. I guess that's it. And don't forget to subscribe.